In honor to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rachakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations. Much love and respect to you, Akim, out there pushing this word out in truth and sincerity. So, this lesson is going to be entitled, The West Has a Very Base Way of Life. Okay? And people notice this when they step out of Babylon the Great, which is America, Canada, London, the West, which is really another code word for what the Edomite countries, the Edomite way of life, the so-called white people, if you will, which are Edomites. And, I was watching this video here that was entitled, I Will Never Go Back to the U.S. Living in Japan for Americans, which I did a video on the individuals in Kenya, right? And the elder Apostle Gabar, through the Spirit, he did another lesson on that same video, and they're talking about how they never want to, how bad America is compared to these places, and when they go back to America, they're depressed and they want to get back to these places, which, when you're in these Edomite countries, they're teaching you that everywhere around the world is poor. There's nothing to do. There's no rights. There's no nothing going on. The standard of living is so low. But then if you actually were to go and get out of that bubble, the bubble that you've been living in, you'll find out that those places are much better. They're much superior. They have a much better culture. Okay? So what I want to do is I want to play a bit of this video here, and I want to get a few scriptures. But matter of fact, I'm going to start with this scripture. Okay, I'm going to get Job, the 30th chapter, man, because the reason why this is such a base lifestyle is because you have the base people ruling the earth. Okay, this is Job 30:1. Matter of fact, let's do this first. Let's do Daniel's 4:17. You know what? Job 30:1, it says, "But now they that are younger than I have me in derision, whose fathers I would have disdained to have set with the dogs of the dogs of my flock." Right now, this is speaking about the Edomites. Okay, yea, whereto might the strength of their hands profit me, in whom old age was perished. Okay, so he was saying, listen, I would not even allow them to sleep around my dogs. That's how base these Edomites were. Okay, it says, for want and famine they were solitary, fleeing into the wilderness, in former time desolate and waste. Okay, who cut up mallows by the bushes and juniper roots for their meat. They were driven forth from among men. They cried after them as after a thief, right? Because they started to see the character of these devils and notice that they're no good, okay? That they don't bring any benefit, but all they do is take and steal and do wickedness, okay? So the people would shun them, okay? See? So this is why they were casting them out, okay? This is why they were casting them out. This is why you have the history of the wild man when he was chased into the wilderness. Okay? But now you have these individuals ruling the planet Earth and spreading their baseness worldwide. It says, to dwell in the cliffs of the valleys, in caves of the earth, and in rocks. Right? Now, what shows you is spiritual that these Edomites are ruling. A lot of these buildings that they build now, they're built with what? First of all, they're built like stone structures. Okay? They look like caves, right? With windows in them, kind of like Petra, right? But also, they're built with cement. Okay? They're built with cement within them. All right? And they do the same thing in different parts of Europe as well, showing you that those are the Edomites. I was watching something on Portugal. They build those structures with cement within the walls as well. Okay. It says, to dwell in the cliffs of the valleys, in caves of the earth, and in the rocks. Okay. It says, among the bushes they braid, under the nettles they were gathered together. What does it mean they braid? That's a sound that animals make, specifically, horses. Okay, so they didn't even have a language at one point in time. This is how base they were. Okay. And they're still the same people. It says they were children of fools, yea, children of base men. They were viler than the earth. Okay. And now am I their song, yea, I am their byword. So now they're looking down on the people of the planet Earth. But their true history, right? When you go to the lowest parts of their history, they were like animals. Literally, they were on the level of beast and viler than beast. So this is who you have ruling the earth now. Okay? You see? It says they abhor me, they flee far from me, and spare not to spit in my face. Okay? So, let's go to Daniel's 4:17. Okay? This is Daniel's 4 verse 17. And it reads, this matter is by the decree of the watchers, and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and setteth up over it the basest of men. See, that's why I said in the title that the West way of life is very base. Okay, compared to the rest of the world. And even now, if you look around the world, you can see that. Let's go to this word basest. Okay, it's the Hebrew word shapal, which says lowliest. Okay, it's the lowliest. All right, so they got the lowest way of life. All right. And this is another reason why people, they start to look down on these Edomites now, because they're seeing the difference between their way of life and the rest of the world. So anyways, let's play this video a bit.
Just me, but other than that, yeah, I'm good being here, honestly. Like,
Me too. And I think that's something. Religion aside, there's something about it, yeah. It might be debatable, but about like social issues or politics, but I feel like that's not really a priority for a lot of people, at least my age here. And so it's a little bit harder to get into conversations about like misogyny and patriarchy and politics and things like that.
you like to talk about it?
I do like to talk about it, yeah. It might be debatable, but I really miss like being around like Americans as a group. Like if you put politics aside and religion aside, there's something really cool about Americans. And I think we're just like good-spirited, really fun people. And I think we know how to come together when we need to. And I think that's something really dope about us. So I will say, like, I don't know, I do miss Americans.
As my family and friends, I miss them. They miss me. But other than that, yeah, I'm good being here, honestly. Like, I will tell you that my feeling was that I was homesick for Japan while I was living in the U.S. after going there the first time.
Oh.
So I was always ready to come and live here because I wanted to come experience it once and say, okay, I could actually live here. And ever since then, I've been wanting to come live here. So now I'm home right now.
See, so he was homesick in America while living he was homesick in America for Japan, but he's American. So that says a lot. That says a lot, right? And the other woman, she's from the South. She's from the South in Texas. You know how patriotic they are, but she lives in Japan and she doesn't want to move from Japan. She doesn't want to leave from Japan. Okay, although she said that she missed the Americans, she's trying to find something good about the Babylonians. Ain't nothing good about Babylon, man. Them people are the lowest people there is, man. They're the most vain. They're not how do you say, they're very individualistic. Okay, that's the West. All right. And the woman before her, although she said she likes to talk about that bug out stuff in America, the feminism and stuff that people don't talk about in Japan. Even she, I believe later on, she says that she would never go to America. She would always stay in Japan. Okay, so that's hey, no matter what they're saying here, at the end of the day, they would rather be in Japan than Babylon the Great, right? The mass, pretty much all the people that are in this interview.
You've been in Japan for 14 years. Can you imagine yourself going back to the States to live there again for a long time?
To be honest with you, the first answer is no. I feel very comfortable here. The only thing that I worry about is as my family gets older, I kind of miss the sense of being connected to my family. So I kind of want to be close to my family, but I also really enjoy my life here. I really appreciate this culture, but sometimes I miss the familiarity of my family.
I really like Japan.
So basically, he's not interested in going back to Japan. He kind of thinks about I'm not going back to America. He's thinking about his family, right? But other than that, he's not. He rather be in Japan. He'd rather be amongst family.
I want to live here for a long time. I think as I get better at Japanese, I'll start to like it more, I hope. And if that's the case, and business continues to do well, I think I'll stay here. Rest of your life. I think it's possible. I just don't know. If I had kids later in life, I'm not sure I would want to raise them here because I think it's too safe. What do you mean? Isn't it good? I think if you're raised...
Fucking stupid. So now he's trying to basically save face for Babylon. He's saying that, yeah, I love it here. He's been here for 10 years, I think it said, whatever. He said that, yeah, but I don't know if I want to raise kids here because it's too safe. What sense does that make? Wouldn't you want to raise your kids in a place that's safe? This is nonsense, man. Listen, at the end of the day, the bottom line is the culture in Japan, and Esau doesn't like to admit it because it's a stain on so-called white supremacy. The culture in Japan, and not just Japan, pretty much all around the world besides the West, is a superior way of life. Period. Okay? They're not living life based upon a clock. Oh shit, I'm 5 to 10 minutes late. Oh no, you know? I just missed the bus. I don't know if I'm gonna be fired. They're not living like that, man. Okay? So no matter how you slice it, it's a superior way of life.
In a place that's this safe, you can't really live anywhere else. I think that's why Japanese people don't leave.
Basically, it's so safe out here in Japan, that he can't see himself living anywhere else. Okay? But it's not just safe in Japan. There's other places in the world. See, the thing with Japan is Japan has money, right? So it's a mixture of money with culture, with a better culture. You Edomites, these different Western countries, the reason they have some type of order and things like that, some quote unquote safety to some degree, is because they have money. All right. But the the moral standards in that place is very, very decrepit. Let's go to Isaiah the 19th chapter. This is Isaiah 19 in verse 14. It says, Yahweh hath mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err in every way thereof. Okay, so Egypt, meaning this is a metaphor for America, has erred in every way thereof. Okay, and err means error. Their ways of living is error. Okay, if you were to study it, you'll find out their ways of living is error. Okay, it says, in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit. Right, so they're staggering. They're not living a proper life. It's just not good. Okay, when you see a man staggering in his vomit, you're like, oh, he's in a bad state. Well, America's in a bad state. Okay, you see, the West is in a bad state. Okay, look at Portugal. Portugal, see the thing with Portugal, still compared to these different countries around the world, they got some money, but they're not doing as good as the rest of Europe. Okay, they're not doing as good as the rest of Europe. All right, and when you listen to the way of their living out there, it's not really good. There's really no benefit, what can I say? They're taxing the people 48%, up to 48%. You go to Switzerland, even Sweden, which is they have a lot of money, they're taxing the people up to 60%. And everything is more expensive out there. So there's a lot of negatives, man. Right, along with the cultural problems that they have as well. It says, neither shall there be any work for Egypt which the head or tail, branch or rush may do. Okay, so that's going into what the fact that the job market is about to fail in Babylon as well. Okay, hey, Babylon the Great, man. Babylon the Great. They they spread that wine throughout the world, and they've actually got these other places to follow their ways. And what has happened, they've become degraded like them. Okay, they've become degraded. This is Babylon. This is Jeremiah 51:7. It says, Babylon hath been a golden cup in Yahweh's hand, that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. So these places are not perfect either, right? They're not a perfect utopia either, because, at the end of the day, they're following after the ways of Babylon to some degree. But, and also they're heathen, so they're not keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. Okay, but, it's still superior to the West, right? You hear about the West, you hear about the way Esau acts towards friends and guests and things like that. They're sending them, they go to eat at their house, and they're sending them tabs for the food that they ate at the house. If you ate a carrot, that's $1.50. You had two potatoes, that's $2. And they'll literally send them a bill for everything that they ate at their house. So what kind of culture is that? What kind of moral standard is that? That's a very low vibrational moral standard. Okay. The scripture says, "Thou art greatly despised." The people are seeing that, and and Esau is becoming despised amongst them. Okay. This is Obadiah 1. In verse 2, it says, "Behold," matter of fact, let's start at 1. It says, "The vision of Obadiah, thus saith the Lord power concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from the Yahweh, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised." Okay, so they're being despised amongst these other nations. Okay, why? Because of their way of life. All right, and by the way, also the stealing that they've been doing, right? The stealing that they've been doing of these different lands and resources of these nations. Okay, so you can see just by watching a video like this or different videos like this that people prefer these other places that Babylon and Canada is telling you is worse. You won't like it there. They don't have rights. They don't have this. They don't have that. You go live in Nairobi, man. In Nairobi, I'm talking about Kenya. You'll have a fantastic time, especially as a Jake. Okay, compared to living out here. Babylon and Canada and London and the West in general, man. Right? Holland includes that, right? That, because that's what that's the Edomite way of life. Okay, which is inferior. So, Lord willing, this is edifying to the elect. And I give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Achakwidash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations. Much love and respect to you, Akim, out there pushing this word out in truth and sincerity. Shalom.